Beginning today's stretch class, we're going to be moving into a child's pose. We're going to start by taking the knees about mat width apart, and then we're sinking the hips down towards the heels just as far as you feel comfortable. Feel free to bring the toes in towards each other, and we're going to have the hands about shoulder width apart from here, creating enough space between the knees here to sink the belly through. And we want to start taking a really deep breath in, filling the belly with air, in through the nose. And as you exhale, let all of the air remove from the belly, from the lungs, and just let your head hang heavy in between the hands. So you could have the chin on the ground, or you could also have your forehead down to create a nice long line through the spine. And we're just going to take a couple of deep breaths in here and try and relax and get nice and passive. So let's see if we can sink the shoulders through, dropping the chest through a little bit more. See if you can pull the hips down towards your heels. Now you don't need to stress about trying to increase your mobility here. We're just trying to open up through the hips and create enough space and slow our breath to start easing some of those symptoms, whether you experience cramping or you experience sciatic pain through the hips, down through the legs. We want to try and relieve any symptoms through the lower back as well. Just a little reminder also, try and relax through your jaw, relax all the muscles on your face, through your eyebrows, your forehead, making sure our fingertips are nice and soft. And gently rising up when you're ready, and we're going to take a couple of circles through the shoulders, relaxing through the upper body. As big as you can, taking the shoulders all the way up towards your ears and then pulling them all the way back down. Okay, now we're going to be moving on to our glutes. We're going to take a nice roll down through the spine, and we're going to pull the knees in towards your chest, and we want the knees about hip distance apart, the same sort of width that we're working with for the child's pose. So it creates enough space through the hips to let your belly breathe and rise, and as we exhale, the belly can sink back down from there. So just pulling in as far as you can maintain. And we can start adding a little pulse as we pull the knees in towards the chest. Feel free to rock them from one side to the other, hoping this feels nice on your lower back. Now we're just going to pull one knee in towards your chest, just a single leg at a time. It doesn't have to be too firm here, just apply as much pressure as you like, using the hand to pull the knee in towards you. I'm hoping that you start to feel this through your hip flexors. You might feel your lower back a little bit as well. And if you're feeling a little bit tight through the glutes and the hamstrings, you might feel this just releasing off a little bit there. Keep using your breath. And now, if you're comfortable here, see if you can let the legs just fall out to the side a little bit more as well, creating some external rotation through the hips. Now when you're ready, we're going to start circling through the knees. Doesn't matter what way you want to go. I'm going to be dropping the legs all the way out to the side. Pull them in as hard as you can towards the chest. You might feel this all the way up into quite deep into the hip flexors. If it's a little bit too much for you, just ease it off. And as we drop the knees away from us, let the legs hang into the hands, let them fall out to the side. And you can go as fast as you like or as slow as you like. And then when you're ready, we're going to reverse it. So pulling it all the way in towards your chest, let the legs fall away and then hang into the hands before we pull them back up towards the chest here. And when you're ready, we're going to gently bring the feet back down to the floor, drawing them in towards each other and taking the hands out to the side in line with the shoulders. Now we're just going to let the legs gently fall to one side. You don't have to stress too much about keeping the back shoulder down here. We're just trying to create some gentle rotation through the lower back. Feel free to start taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, and as you exhale, if you want to progress, you can extend the top leg. If you can reach the leg with your hand, go for it. It doesn't have to be fully locked out. You can have it slightly bent if that feels better for you. But in extending the top leg, I'm hoping that this increases the stretch either through the hamstring, through the glute, or through your lower back here. If you're wanting to increase your stretch here, you can start thinking about pushing the opposite shoulder down towards the floor. And drawing it all the way in when you're ready, pulling it back up to the center, and we're just going to take it all the way over to the other side. So pushing the knees down towards the floor, extending the top leg away if you want to, and then just letting the opposite arm relax down towards the floor. Feel free to push the opposite shoulder down if you want to, otherwise you can just stay wherever your body naturally falls, and just start feeling it ease off through the back and the glutes, and then start thinking about our breath as well. Slowing our heart rate as much as we can, working on de-stressing. Holding here for another 10 seconds. And when you're ready, we're going to pull the knees all the way back up to the center and gently take the feet down towards the floor. We're going to let the knees drop out into external rotation into a frog position here. And we just want to let the legs get nice and heavy. So this is probably the most popular exercise for relieving pelvic pain and cramping, especially through the lower abdominals. Now we want to make sure that both knees are as level as possible. We're not engaging through the glutes. And we're going to be getting a minute hold here. So we're already about 10 seconds in. Just start to slow your breath. As you exhale, see if you can let the legs get a little bit heavier, dropping out towards the side. So if you're wanting a little bit more out of this stretch, you can pull the heels in towards the glutes, and you can also place the hands just gently on the legs and let them act as a little bit of resistance, pulling the knees out towards the floor. Holding for another 5, 4, 2, and 1. Nice work. Pulling the knees all the way back in. And we're just going to come all the way up, back onto the bottom. And we're going to flip over into a 4-point kneel position from here. So we're going to stack the hands directly underneath the shoulders, pushing the shoulders away from your ears, and we're going to be sinking the chest through, pushing the chin up towards the ceiling, stretching out through the abs here. Try and create as much space as you can, opening through the chest, tailbone pointing up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to push the floor away from us, rounding through the upper back, just getting a little bit of flexion through the lower back here. You don't have to think about pulling the rib cage towards your hips and contracting through the abs. And then we're going to sink back through, and we want to keep flowing through this position. So get a little hold each time, still using our breath, and coming back, rounding through the spine, pushing the floor away from you. last one here, sinking back through. And now we're going to walk the hands out in front of you, trying to keep the hips stacked above the knees. Feel free to bring the knees a little bit wider if you can. And we're just going to open up through the chest, getting a stretch through the upper body, through the shoulders. Some of you might actually feel this through the belly again as well. It's pretty similar to our child's pose this time, but should be a little bit more tailored towards the upper back. You might feel it less in the hips and the lower back as well. Hands are about shoulder width apart, and keep sinking the chest through using your breath. Drawing all the way back up when you're ready, coming back over onto the bottom, and we only have 2 more stretches left. So for this next one, you have a few options. We're going to be bringing one leg under, and then the front leg is either going to be in line with the heel and the ankle on the bottom side, using the opposite hand twisting across. So this is the first option. If this feels pretty mild and comfortable for you, the second option is to bring the top ankle in line with the bottom knee, still twisting, and then the third option is lifting up and over the knee, pulling the knee in towards your chest, and then twisting around. I'm hoping that we all feel this stretch through either the side of the glute or traveling down through the hamstring here. And start to think about your breath again, breathing all the way in through the nose, out through the mouth, relaxing through your shoulders. And we want to try and keep both sit bones down towards the floor here as well. And when you're ready, we're going to ease it off, lifting it all the way back up and over, and let's take it over to the other side. So remember, your first option is in line with the bottom ankle. Second option is bringing it in line with the bottom knee, and then third option is lifting all the way up and over, still thinking about pushing the sit bones down towards the floor, pulling the knee in, and let's see if we can relax off through the neck, through the shoulders, and slow our breath again. And just another reminder, try and relax off through your jaw. Coming into our last stretch here, and I'm going to leave you with that one because I do want you to try and hold it for about 5 minutes. So you have 2 options that I'm going to show you. They're both up against the wall. So the first one is we're going to scoot the hips as close to the wall as you can. And we're just going to take the legs up. Feel free to have a little gap between the hips and the wall here so your legs can really relax down. Just let the legs fall wherever it feels comfortable. And this is awesome for draining the blood through our legs. It's good for inflammation, especially if you get fluid retention through the ankles. Now, if you tend to have low blood pressure or you get a little bit dizzy, you might just want to lift the head up and place a pillow underneath the head. And then the second option that we have today, we're going to be scooting the bottom as close to the wall as you can. And we're going to be coming back into the external rotation position that we've gone through a couple of times in today's stretch. So you can either have the feet flat and just let the knees fall out to the side, or you can plant the heels down and shimmy the feet down as close as you can to the wall, opening up through the hips, pushing the knees out towards the side. So I'm going to leave you here Feel free to put on your favourite song, set your phone timer. I wouldn't spend any more than 5 minutes here, as you'll probably start to feel a little bit fatigued and you might get some muscle soreness through the groin. So I hope today was useful. I hope you got something out of it. Let me know how you found it, and I will see you on the next video.